all keeping well. You're very welcome to be joining me. I want to tie today an F-Fly, a natural F-Fly. I've had a couple of guys ask me how do I tie my particular F-Fly that I use. Now I have an olive F-Fly up on YouTube. It's actually one of the first videos I made was the olive F-Fly, which is very, very effective. But this is another fly that I use a good lot of the time. And if I show you my fly box here, I can reach over and grab it. You'll see I've got loads of different F-Flies, some with hot tags on them, some with hot spots. I've got, again, these are all natural ones up here, so the one I'm going to tie, and it's size 16s. Don't know if you can see them properly, but there's more 16s there, a few olives I have there, there's some blacks in it as well. Coming down onto the 18s, again there's naturals there. We're moving over into olive F-Flies here, okay, and more 18s, again there's some blacks, and some more olives, and then I've got obviously 18 again. 18 is a very, very good colour, and then I've got 20s, I've got size 20s in F-Flies. And again there's various different sizes and colours there, or various different colours there, blacks, naturals again, and olives. And then you can see CDC is primarily what I use in all my flies. I've got some split wing duns tied in here with CDC as well. You know, CDC little CDC sparkles as well. So that's and I'm just basically, like I said, I had a friend ask me, and that's basically my fly box. Like my fly box is literally just CDC. I very, very rarely would tie another fly or use another fly. It's all CDC flies which work for me. But like I said, I had a couple of guys ask me how do I tie. They're getting into fly tying, and they've asked me how do I tie the F-Fly that you use, so that I use. So I'm going to make a little video on it, rather than tell them. I don't have time to show them, sit down and show them. So make a quick video on it. It's a very, very simple little tie, nothing to it. I've got a Kamasan B100 dry fly in the hook, or a shrimp buzzer hook in the vise. It's a size 16. The F-Fly works perfect on size, I find, the size 16s, 18s and 20s, and tie them up in various different sizes because like I said, you know, 16s are good, but when the trout are on something a little when the trout are on something smaller, they're not taking size 16s, you know, switch to a size 18 and again size 20. So it helps to have different sizes in your fly box because you know, you can experiment. Now this is the fly I'm going to be tying. So this is my variant of, or my style of the F-Fly, sorry, the natural F-Fly. Okay, cracking little fly. I've been asked before, what does it represent? And for anyone that's experienced in fishing and fly tying, you'll know the answer to this. But anyone that's getting into it, for who I'm making these videos for, anyone that's getting into it, just as a beginner, and you're only picking up fly tying now, and you're new to all these, you're new to learning about insects, entomology, and things like that. You know, it's basically, what does the F-Fly represent? The F-Fly doesn't represent any one particular fly, and that's what makes it so effective. The F-Fly actually represents a vast majority of different insects at different stages. So from emergers to dry flies, okay, sitting on the water, coming up to hatch, you know, hatching out their nymph stage, and stuck in that stage where they're stuck in the surface film. They're, you know, after emerging from being a nymph, they're turning into a dry fly. They're waiting for the wings to dry, and you know, all fly life go through that purpose. So basically that's what the F-Fly represents. Okay. Now naturally the F-Fly was naturally tied on a straight hook with a tail, and I'm not fond. I don't like the straight hook F-Fly. I don't find it as effective, and the reason being is because the body can't sit down on an F-Fly tied on a stray hook, and I have tied them on stray hooks, they don't sit down in the water the way you want them. And the beauty about this, what I love about the shrimp buzzer hook is the actual body here will sit low in the water, while this wing will only be the one sticking up out of it. So it sits sort of on the surface water. So it's representing a proper merger, okay? And that's what makes the F-Fly, my F-Fly, and I'm going to be cocky and I'm going to say, yeah, it's a really effective little fly, because it nearly will catch me. I'm going to be 100%. I'm going to say it will nearly catch me a trout nearly every cast. Okay, that's how good it is when the conditions are right. We'll go through. When I get to the stage of tying in the wing, I'll actually go through how to make the fly sit higher and lower in the water. But what we're going to do first is we'll begin tying the fly. So like I said, I've got a Kamasan B100 shrimp buzzer hook in the vise, and I'm going to tie this using Kevlar silk. Okay. As with all the curved hooks, if you don't have, I like my F-Flies tied on. Oh, got my scissors. I like my F-Flies tied on Kamasan B100s. I really like the Kamasan B100s. Grey hook. Especially, too busy talking now and I'm not minding what I'm doing. Especially for F-Flies, they're a really good hook, the Kamasan B100s. One of my personal favourites. But like I said, we'll just trim away that waste. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down to where the vise, just where the hook is, just above where the hook sits in the vise. Okay. When I go to fish this, I've crushed the barb that's on these B100s, but I like the curve on these ones compared to any other fly. So we're going to create our body, and all I'm going to do for the body now, I don't even rib these flies. All I'm going to do for the body is I'm just going to tie in, being a natural F-Fly, I'm going to use natural hares here, okay? And if you've watched my videos before, this is a blend I use for probably a good 96-97% of my flies. Whether they're nymphs or anything, this is the blend I use, okay? What this is, if you're asking, okay, if you're wondering, it's a hare's mask. So just bought a hare's mask from a shop, and I've cut it all. I've trimmed all the hair off it, even the under fur. I've went to the skin on it. I've put it into a coffee grinder. So again, if you're new to fly tying, you don't know what a coffee grinder is. This is a coffee grinder, okay? Picked them up, quite cheap. I think that one cost me €20. So very cheap. I actually got that one in Argos. So what I've done is, and I gave it a couple of wazzes and guard hairs and all, and you can see it gives you that one blend, and you can see the spiky hairs in that there. It's really good stuff. And like I said, my nymphs and dry flies alike will all be tied with this dubbing. Okay, so we'll begin to create the body. So I'm just going to dub small amounts on. It's very important when you're doing these F-Flies that you get the taper on the body. So start off with a small amount, as you can see there, and begin to just wind up creating that body, okay? Don't like how that dubbing went on there, so we'll just come away, just dub that on again. I just want to tighten that up. So that's a bit better. So you can see there now it's creating a little bit of a taper, and that's what you want. So just tie it on in, like I always say, less is more when it comes to dubbing. So just take your time and dub it up in stages, okay? Small bit more because I'm getting to where I need to get to now. So leave a bit of room when you're tying these F-Flies. Leave a bit of room for tying your wing, okay? Now what I'm going to do is just take away all that any really long hairs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get ready to tie my wing, but before I do, I'm going to give that a little bit of a brush out, okay? Because that gives the impression of legs, and you can see that there, okay? And then just like so, if there's any really long ones after hairs coming out, just pull them away. And that gives you the impression of legs, okay? Now the wing I'm going to tie in, I haven't got it set up. I haven't got the CDC feather here, so I'm just going to pick 3 CDC feathers, you bear with me. 3 reasonable size ones. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack the CDC feathers on top of each other, try to get them level with each other. So I'm stacking the CDC feathers on top of each other just like that there, okay? If there's any dirt or fibres in them, just pull that out. Okay, so there's 3 CDC feathers stacked one on top of the other, and you can see the quality of that CDC feather. You're looking for good CDC feather. The better the CDC feather, the darker the CDC feather, like grey natural, okay, the better the quality of the fly. Okay, and that's what you're going for there. So, being a natural F-Fly, you want natural CDC. This stuff here is, like I said, I've only recently come across this stuff here. I do normally source my own CDC from wild ducks. Gone quite low on it. It's getting hard to get ducks now at the moment. I don't know what's going on in the country, but they're not really plentiful. But anyway, I've since sourced this stuff from Primary Angler Supplies, and this is a bag of CDC. It's a 2.5 gram bag of CDC, natural grey CDC, and this stuff is serious. This stuff is the next best thing I've seen to wild CDC. Okay, close to it. Now what I'm going to do is you have your 3 CDC feathers stacked on top of each other. Okay, just like that. So you're going to come in from the eye of the hook. Okay, just what you want to do is just bring them together. Okay, so brush them together until you get something like that there. Okay, now I know I'm tying these flies day in day out, so I know automatically the length that I need for this. I don't need to be measuring it up, but if you're not sure and it's your first time tying one of these, you want to get the measurement right. So what you're looking for is, you're looking for the wing to protrude a little bit past the bend of the hook. Okay, you don't want it going out too far, but you want it just to sit a little bit past the bend of the hook. So what you do is, what I normally do is I offer it up, and that's exactly what I'm looking for there, because when it sits up, it's going to give a nice effect, right? So once you're happy, I'll come in then with my other hand, I'll hold it and I'll pinch a loop and I'll tie that in, okay, and really pull down. The beauty about this silk is you can really pull down on it. Okay, now it really is a simple fly when you get going on these. I'm taking my time to show now because it's, you know what I mean, it takes me no length to tie these flies. Okay, now you can see there, it's very important when you tie your CDC in that you get it sitting on top of the fly. Okay, so take your time just to make sure that your CDC, because it can twist and it can turn. Okay, so just make sure it's sitting on top of the fly, and you can see out there it's sitting perfectly on top of the fly there now. Okay, but the wing is a bit too long. Okay, it's too long for me, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to slowly but gently just pull that back. Okay, okay, so just very carefully just pull it back until, because what'll happen is you'll pull it out. So okay, so you get it like that there. Okay, so now you can sit it up, and that's perfect size wing for that. Okay, and what I like to do then is I just like to get a couple of turns in the front of it, that kind of stuff. Stand up. Now once you're happy there, you can trim that waist line. Okay, keep that waist because it makes good dubbing, and you can use it for dubbing other dry flies and stuff. Now what I'm going to do is just clean up this head. Okay, now that's that fly finished basically there. Okay, as you can see there. Okay, so that fly is finished as it is there, but what I want to do is, what I always do is, I like to get a turn underneath the wing. The trick with the wing when you're tying these in, right, is, and that's why I like the curved hooks here, this is where it comes into play, the curved hook. Okay, the trick here is, if you tie this on a stray hook, okay, it's just going to sit on the one level on the wire, and it's not going to penetrate that wire. It's not going to penetrate that film, okay, the wire film. So if you tie it on a stray hook and tie it on a shrimp or buzzer hook, it has a little bit of weight to it, them shrimp and buzzer hooks, naturally. So therefore it's going to sit down lower in the water, okay. So now the trick with the wing is if you leave it like that there, it's going to sit higher up in the water, so it's not really going to penetrate the surface with them, okay. What I like to do is I like to get a wrap. I like to lift the wing and get a wrap just behind it, and you can see there now how that wing is lifted, okay. It's not sitting massively vertically, but it's sitting up off the body of the fly, okay. If you pull that forward and get a couple of more wraps there and get that wing actually sitting vertically up like that, the lower down in the water that fly is going to sit, and the wing is just going to be sticking up, which works really effective, okay. And when you're tying these F-Flies, have some with the wing sticking up vertical like that, and have some with the wing the way I have it there. And for me, that's a happy medium, okay. So it's not quite sitting high in the water, but it's having the wing with one wrap here allows the curved hook to sit down in the water low and have that sticking up. But like I said, I do tie these. I tied various different. I tie them with the wing sitting low. I tie them with the wing sitting vertical, okay. But for me, there is a happy medium, and it's that one wrap in behind the CDC feather there. I find very effective, okay. So like I said, just get a wrap in there then. And what we do then is we will begin to create the head now. So I'm just going to using the head now. You can, that's it, like that's the fly finished. I like to put a little bit of being a natural F-Fly, I like to put a little bit of black head on it and a Sharpie marker, okay. So I just like to create a little bit of a black head. It just gives a nice effect to the fly. And if I can find my whip finishing tool, and if I can get a hold of it properly, I didn't pick it up properly, we get a little bit of a wrap in there and secure. Okay, now just using B100s, they're a little bit bendy and fiddly, so I just bend that back into place. But you can see there now that that's that fly finished, okay. That's a really good little F-Fly. So it is. It's a really good fly, and that's why I love the curved hooks. That's why that's why I only tie these on curved hooks. I don't like them on the straight hooks, and that reason is because the curved hook allows us in. But like I said, it's a very easy fly to tie, but one of the most effective flies you're going to have in your box. And you can see for me there, my fly box is literally full of them, okay. Various different colours, and you can tie these in different colours. I've got these in cream to represent the pale watery, you know, the pale watery spinner, or the pale even and done. So a nice cream colour there will represent them there. So again, really good fly when they're coming up off the water. This one here is very effective for the blue-winged olive, or if you actually tie it in an olive colour, again it's very effective for the blue-winged olive. They don't really, like I said at the beginning, they don't really represent any one fly, but they represent a vast majority of insects hatching at any time. But they're really good, okay. So look, once you get the hang of these, you'll be able to throw these out in less than a minute. You know, they're that simple, okay. But like I said, you know, it's one to have in the box, and you see my box there. So give it a go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. But it's definitely one of the most easiest and effective flies. So thanks for watching. All the best.